Well, hello, you have just tapped this video. So today, as you have heard the title, is how to start a podcast in 2021. So everybody is always doing a podcast. Everybody was always starting a podcast, and it's been a thing since the pandemic. Like everyone's starting a podcast now. Like how you always said the Warriors were bandwagons. Well, this is like more like a bandwagon thing too, with all the podcasting and all the everyone doing it, and then my family members, when I started the podcast, they thought I was just trying to do it because everyone else was doing it, but I actually had thought of doing one before the pandemic even started, all the way in December of 2019. So, what I really want to tell you guys today is, how to start a podcast. And I'm not going to go by tips. I'm just going to talk and just sit down. Well, not sit down because I'm standing up, but just talk to you and tell you how to really start a podcast. Not by tips, but just in my opinion of how I did it when I first started. And also, I want to tell you that I just heard this podcast last week that's very interesting, and it's called the No Job Podcast by Nige Simmons, which is the cousin of Alan Levi Simmons, if you ever heard of his podcast. Both links for those two men, those cousin Simmons, that are cousins to each other, they will be down below. And also, while you're down there, please hit a like button if you like this video, and hit this notification button so that you can be notified when a video is being released, and also subscribe. But let's just move on. So the first thing, in my opinion, to start a podcast is that you should really start planning before you start it. Think of what you're going to do. Think of what your main topic's going to be. If you're going to talk about cooking, decide on doing cooking. If you're going to talk about video games, do video games. To plan it all out. And just make sure everything goes the right way so that you can succeed in the way you want to succeed, which is by planning out your podcast, bringing them down in notes, and figuring out what you want to do. So that's all I had to say for this first part, and let's move on to the next part that we're going to talk about. So the second thing you should do to start a podcast, and which I believe you should do, is find a platform you really want to start with. Like for me, I try to figure out how should I start it, not just by starting it because I want to do podcasts. I was like, what platform should I use? What should I use? Because I never knew anything about podcasting. Then I downloaded this app called Anchor. I started using that, and boom, I did my podcast. And if you wouldn't want to do Anchor. It's very simple and easy. And also, I'll have a link to their YouTube channel down below as well. So look at their videos and look at how they do their podcasting, because Anchor is the number one platform, in my opinion, for podcasting. And they're also a child company to Spotify, because Spotify is the parent company to Anchor. So basically, if you work with Anchor, your podcast will automatically go on Spotify. But any other platforms, that's just to help an Anchor so that your RSS feed can go through other platforms. But in the meantime, just keep figuring out how you should really get that platform to go and how everything should really go. But in the meantime, to move on to the third topic, what I really want to tell you guys is that to really have a great podcast and to start a good podcast, just be yourself. Don't worry about what everyone else is saying or what they're saying or this and that and this and that and this. Who cares? Be yourself. Just like me. You may be thinking, oh, well, this video ain't as exciting because his voice and everything is not. I'm excited. I am. I'm very excited and happy to do this. It's just that's just the way my voice sounds. But I'm being myself. Another thing, just don't compare yourself to others. Don't compare yourself to Joe Rogan. Don't compare yourself to no one else. Compare yourself to yourself. Compare yourself from months ago. Compare yourself from weeks ago. Compare yourself to yourself from yesterday. How better was I from yesterday? How better was I from Friday? How better was I from last week? Be yourself and learn how to do things the right way. Like how I said on my funny video, do things the right way. Be yourself. Just be yourself and things will come the right way. So that's all I had to say for you today, you guys, and hope you all enjoyed Thursday's video. And again, we'll have the link to Alan Levi Simmons, the No Job Podcast, and also an Anchor YouTube channel. Hope y'all enjoy this video, and goodbye. Have a blessed day.